It's time for some transphobic memes. I'm saying this in a happy voice, but they're not a happy thing. Yay! Hey Spuds, it's Jamie. Welcome back to another video. First video on the channel. I don't know, but welcome either way. I'm very glad to have you here to help me get through this batch of transphobic memes. The memes of the anti-trans memes, the memes of the people who don't like the trans people. For some reason, we don't know, bigotry. That's why. But yeah, these are just memes of people who are transphobic, and a lot of them don't make sense and they're very silly. And we like to do a combination of laugh at their silliness and also dismantle why they are transphobic and why transphobia is wrong. Yay! That came out very high. Are we ready? Me leaving the restaurant without tipping because the waiter had pronouns on they, them's name tag. Yeah! Look at me deliberately treating somebody differently in a negative way because I don't agree with their identity. Yay! For discrimination. They also couldn't even bring themselves to be grammatically correct and say had pronouns on their name tag. They, them, their. He, him, his. She, her, hers. There's a third one that you can utilize in sentences like this that would mean they make more sense. Loads of transphobes like,
oh, I won't use they, them pronouns for a singular person because it's plural and I must be grammatically correct.
And then they make memes like this. Sure. My pronouns are they, them. They, them. I'm doubling your rent. Haha, so funny. Yay, go tell Shakespeare that he was grammatically incorrect then. They, them has been used in a singular way for a very long time. Since before you were charging rent. Mean. Grr. So two people in bed, I'm assuming post-adult fun times, and then he's getting a big shock. Wow, what's he seen? Oh, relax, silly. That's not my husband. That's me before the operation. And it's this photo on the bedside of somebody with a beard and arm hair looking very different to the person he's in bed with.
Yeah, that's me before the operation. It was just one operation. I don't even know what they did, but I just magically came out looking like this.
Sure. It's just perpetuating the false narrative that trans people are there to like deceive, and they're deceptors and they're liars to like get you to sleep with them. And also the idea that there's a single operation that does everything, gets rid of facial hair, changes your nose shape and your body shape and everything about you just in one operation. How efficient would that be? That would be good. If it could just be done in the single swoop of a wand, wouldn't it be great if Transtopia existed and we could deport them there? And then they've used some really bad AI art that I'm not even going to show. It's just deplorable what they're doing. Transtopia existed and we could deport them there. See, it's bad because you're talking about forcing people to go live somewhere. But in reality, if there was a place that had equal rights for trans people and was fully accepting and society wasn't shocking and there wasn't a horrible level of discrimination and there was access to healthcare that was appropriate for trans people, why wouldn't we want to live there? Seriously. Read a book, says the trans person. History of Gender is the book they're reading. Dr. John Money. Oh, not this book. Well, the trans person's nervous. But no, because John Money is known for being, he's not somebody the trans community are like,
go read about him, he says everything you need to.
No, awful. And the study they're talking about, it completely goes against what transphobes argue and what this person is doing, and it actually evidences that gender is innate and cannot be impacted by our physical body. Essentially, there were two twin babies. They were both sent in for a circumcision, which also is another topic. Transphobes never seem to bring up things like circumcision and surgeries on intersex babies that are not consented on, and is literally performing surgery on children who have no idea what's going on and cannot consent to what's happening to their bodies. They only have an issue when it's trans kids, and it's not even happening to trans kids, so make that make sense. Anyway, these two kids went in for a circumcision, and one of them, it went wrong and essentially destroyed his penis, and Dr. John Money decided it would be better if he were raised a girl. So they raised this child as a girl, but it did not work, clearly, because this kid wasn't a trans woman. His gender was also a boy. So as he got older, he actually then lived as a man, and it caused him a lot of problems that were ongoing. But it literally shows that regardless of body or like socialization and how you're raised, your gender will persevere. And I don't know why transphobes think that it's a gotcha, and I don't also know why they think because there was a bad acting doctor back in, when was it, a really long time ago. This was in the 1960s, Why This Looks Bad on the Trans Community, is literally a case study that evidences the existence of gender separate to your body, and that changing your body cannot change your gender, and a bad doctor existed in the 60s. Big woohoo. Everyone's got a fear of something. Do not use The Simpsons to be transphobic. Not everyone, says the trans community. Harry Potter. Screams. The trans community aren't scared of Harry Potter. Also not scared of J.K. Rowling. Just absolutely horrified that somebody who was so beloved and created this magical world, where I know there are a lot of like not so great themes and things, that, you know, it's not just transphobia that she's been accused of, but there are issues within the books as well that kind of show certain ideas. But overall, it was always seen as this kind of like magical world where people were accepted, and it was this fight against evil who didn't like mudbloods and that whole vibe. And honestly, she's just turned into a combination of Umbridge and Voldemort. You know, people in Harry Potter were scared of Voldemort. So no, the trans community are not scared of Harry Potter or J.K. Rowling, just absolutely horrified by the atrocious things that she says.
Hello, I'm interrupting for a very, very good reason. It's because I want you to say hello to baby Pud. He's very cute. He has a little trans egg. He's yellow. Tiny Pud is available to buy until July 3rd this year. He is a limited edition. So if you do want one, go click the link in the description box or the pinned comment and head over to Makeship. And 10% of all sales of Little Pud are going to the Trevor Project, an amazing LGBTQ+ charity. I will now let you get back to the video. Thank you.
2012. I'm gay. I don't care. Yay, society accepts me. 2022. I'm trans. I don't care. You transphobic piece of shit. Sure, this really happened. The way they love to make memes about non-existent made-up scenarios that they create in their heads to make the trans community look bad. If people say they don't care that I'm trans, great. Often, what this actually translates as, I'm gay. I don't care. Live your life. You do you and I'll do me. Yay. Society accepts me to some level as long as I'm not in their face too much, you know? Don't invite me to Pride, but I won't hate crime you. I'm trans. I don't care. Is often not I don't care. It's a I'm trans and then discrimination, misgendering, total disrespect. You're transphobic. Yay! You know, call a spade a spade. If you're being called transphobic, there's probably a reason for it. Mummy, I think I'm a boy. Well, you're not. How unoriginal and boring. Yes, how to be dismissive, anti-transparent 101. Follow this poster. Don't follow this poster. Like, why not even just have a conversation with your child? Also though, I hate to admit it, I really want a peanut butter sandwich now. I have a large craving for bread. Not because of what they're saying, but just bread. I love bread. The world's first transgender whale. Maybe Dick. There may be a penis. Oh goodness, this is long. What is this? Oh my god. Okay, class, I have a very special announcement. I'm officially coming out as a reptilian overlord. Hiss her pronouns. Yay! Don't eat us! Woo! We're not lunch, we're students. Is this a new student? And then a rainbow and a unicorn and like gender signs and pink and blue brains. The genderbread person. Okay, I see where this is going. Brainwashing the children into... Yep. Wonderful. They've just thrown in a Black Lives Matter symbol there as well. That pronouns imagery looks like something else that would be very inappropriate to show in a school setting or to under 18s, and the connotations behind that, the connotations behind this whole comic, disgusting. But wow. Oh, an alarm is going off. Swiping that away. Shush, don't say anything. Oh, pretending it's all normal. There's the alphabet and some sums. Great. Please tell us your preferred pronouns. Huh? Just normal girl pronouns for normal girls. Gasp. Pearl clutch. Ah! Now, it's her first day. She'll learn. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the LGBTQIA2S drag queen community and to the corporations for which we stand. One government, under pharma, with surveillance and injections for all. That was such a ride. I feel like if this was made genuinely and not ironically or as a joke or as a piss take to bigots, this actually feels like how far-fetched their imaginations have gotten with the trans community and with LGBT plus education in schools, and how ridiculous it is. This just highlights their own ridiculousness of thinking that kids are being brainwashed because they're being taught about LGBTQ plus people, and this is the extent of it. It's just absolutely horrifying, and it's because they view it as brainwashing and as a problem because they don't want their kids accepting something that they don't accept, but they don't accept it because they're bigots and times have changed. Move on, deal with it, grow up. A person just standing there, hello, you can't be trans because according to the Bible, impotent whining, just radiating out in a trans flag. And then they're just looking at each other. So anyway, according to the Bible, so you've made a comic going up to a trans person, waving a book in their face and being like,
I'm gonna use this really old book to tell you that you're not actually who you are, because I know better than you and this book knows better than everybody.
and you think that somebody's saying, excuse me, like your personal religious beliefs that were taught to you do not impact my life or the view that I have on myself, and you cannot tell me who I am, and nor can your book. That's called impotent whining. But
Let me tell you why you're not really trans because of the Bible.
that's not impotent whining. That's not shoving your beliefs down somebody's throats. That's not inappropriate. That's not an attempt at indoctrination. Like, you have your beliefs, whatever they may be. Being trans is not a belief system. It's a fact of life. Trans people exist. You can want to believe that they don't, but it doesn't make it true. Go live your life believing what you want to believe in and leave trans people be then. If you want to live your life through your own interpretation of a very old book that has been reinterpreted and translated so many times and bits added on to suit people in power in certain times of history, then go for it. You do you have your beliefs, but don't be waving it in trans people's faces trying to tell them they're not valid because of this book in your hands that you have chosen to interpret. Where does it say anything in the Bible about trans people? Where? Everything is so wishy-washy. Like, I hope that you don't mix your fabrics or eat shellfish. I see that some are blaming the patriarchy for the Oscar snub for Barbie's Greta and Margot. You'll think that's bad. Now imagine biological men competing against women in sports. Talk about rule of the patriarchy. Start there. Oh, I'm going to cover their names so they don't get any, like, publicity. But somebody's ability to make everything about trans women in sports should be studied. Like, how obsessed. And it's also something where there are experts that deal with making elite sports as fair as possible, and then why should kids miss out on playing sports with their peers just because they're trans? You know, recent studies have found that there's no biomedical advantage for trans women in women's sports at elite levels. They've been competing in the Olympics since 2004. Yeah, now imagine biological, like, that's trans women, please be respectful. Imagine trans women competing against women in sports. They have been for a really, 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 really long time, and nobody gave a shit before it became trendy to be transphobic. The real trans trenders are the transphobes. Also, wouldn't being like,
No, trans women must compete in the men's category.
just like bathrooms, wouldn't that mean that trans men, and we have seen this as well, there was a trans man wrestler who was forced to compete against women and everybody had an outrage at it, like, this man is competing against women. It's like, you literally forced him to be there. Wouldn't that push actual men into competing in the women's category? Men who are like on testosterone. How does that compute in your brain? Like, all of it is just such rubbish. The slippery slope. We just want to protect sports. JK Rowling. She said a lot more than that now. We just want to ban kids transitioning, ban all social transitioning, ban all adults transitioning, eradicate all trans entirely. I think this is like a trans positive meme that was initially made to be like, this is the trajectory of transphobia. Then this is what we see, and we see it on an individual level as well, where people start off very tentatively. Even with JK Rowling, she's not gotten to like the later stages of this, but she's come so far from where she started with just the, I would march with trans people if they were discriminated against, and I love and respect trans people in my life, to openly sharing images of just individual trans women living their lives and calling them men in front of her 14 million followers. Like, what the hell is going on? And then denying that trans research was burnt by the Nazis. Like, and then the left can't meme, which is very anti-left, anti-LGBTQ, anti a lot of progressive things. everything's the based slippery slope, lol. So they think it's a good thing. They're not denying it exists. World population over 8 billion. People born from women, the same number. People born from men. Feel free to fact check. Yeah, I can fact check. I know of quite a few trans men who have birthed children. Doesn't stop them from being men. So fact checking this, and it is incorrect. Son, one day you'll be a man. Dad, I'm 32, but you have pronouns. So trans women aren't actually women and trans men aren't actually men according to transphobes. But being an adult, the be all and end all of adulthood is to not have pronouns. So if an 8-year-old was like,
I officially reject having pronouns. You must refer to me only using my name.
they are now an adult. Okay, got it, because that makes sense. And you is a pronoun. So the dad has also used a pronoun. And how does the dad expect to be referred to if the dad does not use pronouns? When you accidentally let the government raise your kids, they think the government is making kids trans. They think anyone is making kids trans. Where do they get these ideas from? They just pluck them out of a turd on the ground. If I had $1 for every gender, I would have $2 and a bunch of counterfeit cash. Of course they used an image of Trump for this meme. Yeah, sure. Non-binary people just don't exist. They've all suddenly disappeared because a bigot made this meme. Kindergartners, I want to learn to count. School teachers, wearing a trans badge. I said we learning about transvestite. No. I really struggle to get my head round the belief system of some bigots who are really deep into it. I don't know what they've been listening to. I don't know how this happens. I don't know how you fall so deep into a rabbit hole of conspiracy theories and just thinking that something that is so not a danger or a issue or an ideology into thinking that it is all those things. Like being trans in the trans community, it's not dangerous, it's not an issue for your kids, it's not anything bad. But for some reason, some transphobes have just so thoroughly been convinced or convinced themselves that trans people equals bad and scary and dangerous that they make memes like this. It's very extreme. So what's the one thing you mostly look for in a woman? XX chromosomes. Well, at least they did the right kind of chromosomes for their shitty joke. How do you see them?
Hello, I'm here for the date with you, but first, could you please spit in this jar and we can resume in 3 to 4 working days once I have the results. Thank you very much.
You can't look for chromosomes. Good luck. Love your new outfit, Karen. Crimson is definitely your colour. Okay. Crimson looks more like scarlet to me. It's red. And that's how they found out Karen was transgender. Huh? Is that because like only women can know specific shade colours for general colours? Men will only know like red, blue, green, and women will be like scarlet, crimson, burgundy, turquoise. Is that green? Is that blue? I don't know. Forest, sage. It just feels like I'm just listing names now for people, not colours, but they are colours too. I don't know what I'm saying. According to the person who made this, Karen is transgender because she said it's red. I mean, objectively, that's true. How does that, how? Diary of a Wimpy Kid, irreversible damage, no turning back. This is just like a play on Abigail Schreier's book, Irreversible Damage. What kind of no turning back do they think there is for trans kids? There's this huge misconception and misunderstanding that a 5-year-old will turn around to their parents and go,
I'm transgender.
And then literally a bus will show up outside with a whole surgical setup and a vat full of hormones, and suddenly the kid is transitioned. Ta-da! That is not how it works, but I genuinely think that some transphobes think it's pretty much like that and that quick. It's really not. There's no medical intervention for young kids. At most it'll be puberty blockers. They are reversible regardless of what people say, and the shit that goes out about them is only to do with trans people and never to do with the cis kids that take them for precocious puberty. Nobody cared about it then. It's not caused an issue. And also it's very difficult to get access to puberty blockers. It's difficult to access trans related healthcare regardless, let alone for children. It will literally be like socially transitioning, counselling, and maybe puberty blockers as they reach the age of puberty starting. So in like slightly older childhood, just pre-teen, and then anything irreversible comes in later teens to adulthood. at the earliest. Okay? When you realize the demons in the Bible refer themselves as they, them, we, us. Oh my god.
Because of the Bible using certain terms for demons, that now means non-binary people are demons. Ha, look at this connection I made.
Atrociously stupid. Wokemon. Why are they ruining Pokemon, The Simpsons, and just everything else? Wild Groomer appeared. Oh, Jesus. Groomer level 69. Groom. So it might be broom, I'm in me mom's car. Kid accidentally used wrong pronouns. Groomer. Level 69 dead. Melted. It's super effective. I just don't even know what to say anymore. You know when it's like something is so ridiculous it doesn't even deserve an answer? This is that. It's so absolutely atrocious and bizarre. I don't even know what to say to it. It's just wrong on every level. The trans community are not groomers. It's so disgusting. So if you have this opinion watching this video, I think you are abhorrent and an atrocious human being for just being so shitty to a group of people in society that you clearly know nothing about and you can't be bothered to learn anything about. So carry on living your closed-minded life. How do you like this then? Restrooms, biological men, biological women. There's so many people. Where the f*** do so many people go? I'm gonna ignore that biological bit. Just because I wasn't assigned male at birth doesn't mean I shouldn't use the men's room. Would you want me in the women's? My legal sex is male. I have many secondary sex characteristics of a man, and my primary sex characteristics, not exactly female. No idea what my chromosomes are. So where do you want me to go? I could just pee on the floor in between the two toilets. Oh, the bigots love their AIR. There are only two genders. The amount of parents who are going to realize that either their viewpoint needs to change or their kids are just going to grow up having no respect for their views, because like, why would you respect the views of a bigot? Trans theft auto woke city. Why is it just the Ukrainian flag? Honestly, you dig down on somebody who's being very overtly transphobic, you will find all sorts of bigotry, all sorts, just atrocious views about everything. Ugly people with no personality. Oh, they're using Mario now as well. Are you serious? They, them pronouns. Sure, they've just made pronouns their entire personality, whilst you have made bigotry yours. I know who I would prefer to interact with. Nobody has made they, them pronouns their entire personality, but people have actually made bigotry their entire personality. Just go on Twitter. Wow, those were some terrible ones. I don't know if I'm just getting so exhausted with it or not. It's to the point where like, I hate transphobia because it's managed to worm its way into some places where it has some power, and we're seeing some not nice things happening for trans people in various parts of the world. But on like an individual level, with the individual people like this who just make crappy memes on the internet and spout absolute bullshit, I can't be offended by it anymore. I feel like I've seen so much of it, and I feel like ultimately what it proves time and time again is that people who have these kind of views just cannot be bothered to learn the first thing about the trans community. And I'm like, you don't know anything about what you're talking about. This would be like me trying to make really accurate memes on being a mechanic. I do not know the first thing. I would look so stupid to mechanics if I tried to write an instruction manual on how to repair a car engine. They'd be like, what the heck is this bollocks? It doesn't make sense. It is so wrong. Why did this person not bother to just look into even the basic information before creating this thing? And whilst getting mechanics wrong is not offensive or taking away rights or discriminating against people, it's that same level of ridiculous stupidity. I feel like transphobes must have an immense sense of entitlement and self-confidence to go out into the world and share things like these memes when they have no clue what they're talking about. No clue whatsoever. And the stuff they share just proves it more and more. And the more they share, the more obvious it becomes just how little they know. You may as well be talking about apples. Oh, anyway, if you like this video, think about giving it a thumbs up and subscribing, but no pressure. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Much love. Bye.